I'm not sure what just happened, but I don't know how to splice these videos. So you're getting a 1 and a 1.5 or a 1 whatever. So let me see if I can figure out where it was. Okay. Marginal. They're played at a marginally audible level. The objective is to relax the left hemisphere of the brain, place the physical body in a virtual sleep state, and bring the left and right hemispheres into coherence under conditions designed to promote the production of ever higher amplitude and frequency of brainwave output. Audible and perhaps subliminal suggestions by Bob Monroe accompany the various brainwave frequencies, which are sometimes rolled in together with other sounds, such as C-surf, to mask the sound frequencies where desirable. In this way, Gateway endeavors to provide the subject with the tools by which he may alter his consciousness based on his own volition over time through the repetitive use of the tapes so as to access via intuitive means new categories of information not available to ordinary consciousness. Here we go with that ordinary consciousness word again. So the everyday layperson is ordinary consciousness. I mean, and the more people we can get to understand that you don't have to be this ordinary consciousness, you can be an awake and enlightened individual. So the spiritual community calls it. And for the layperson that is into science and religion, and there are parts of the Bible that refer to this gateway or a gate, or that's where I'm going to go back to how all this ties in together. Like this experience, this process is mentioned in the Bible. So, and if you are a religiously spiritual person, then get out your Bible. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Only if you find the path, or I can't remember exactly what the verse is, but I mean, all my churchgoers know what I'm talking about. I was raised in the Catholic Church. I went to Mass every Thursday, every Friday for 3 years of schooling. I read in front of all of my peers in the first grade, in the second grade, in the third grade, in front of first through 8th grade students. So 16 times, at least 20? So do the mental math. I had to read at 6, 7, and 8 years old in front of hundreds of my peers. Not sure why I'm so worried about talking to a camera on YouTube. It's still just weird. But I was raised to believe in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And, my mother is probably rolling in her grave over this one, but I don't believe in God anymore. I do, but we're God. We're the creators. We have to find our own gateway. We have to create our own happiness. Heaven is here on earth because it's what you make it. And I was listening to a new guy last night, and he's talking about earth is to teach people patience, because in heaven everything is instant gratification, instant manifestation. And I manifest a lot of stuff, and stuff I don't mean to. Boy, let me tell you, I hate spiders, and see if a damn spider don't show up. Happened to me day before yesterday. No. What the hell's today? Yesterday. It happened to me yesterday. I was telling somebody on and on and on how I hate anything with more than 6 legs, and hour and a half later, here's this big old nasty spider right by the door. You can't make this shit up. I'm at the store. I'm 11 cents short. I said, hey, I'll bring that back to you. I walk to the store every day. I walk outside and on the sidewalk is a dime and a penny. I was like, hey, told you I'd be back. Walk my 11 cents back in there. It happens all the time. People call this coincidence. No, it's not coincidence. It's synchronicity. It's you manifest that. You bring that. When I tell you, you have intention is everything. Intention is energy. Pay attention. People, wake up. Intuitive means new categories of information not available to ordinary consciousness. My goal is for you to not be ordinary. We have a planet full of ordinary people. What we need is extraordinary people. We need awakened individuals to make conscious change to the way we're raising our kids, to the way we treat each other, to the way we treat ourselves. You have to have a certain amount of forgiveness for others, but you have to have more forgiveness for yourself. You have to understand that this is a learning process. I'm never going to stop learning. My goal is to try to learn something new every day. I don't care how minute it is. And by the same token, for me, a goal is to try to teach something every day, whether it be to people I'm around and they learn from me unknowing. I absolutely try to lead by example. I'm not going to ask anybody to do anything that I wouldn't myself do. But we need to be more forgiving of ourselves too. We all make mistakes. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's ever gonna be perfect. But we can get to the place where we're okay with change. People are afraid of change. Again, fear. People don't handle change well. People don't like to be forced into new things. And sometimes we have to be backed into a corner to change. As uncomfortable as that is necessary for growth. I'm not going to say pain is necessary for growth, but I will say it definitely accelerates the process. The role of resonance. However, brain coherence through entertainment to beat frequencies introduced via stereo headphones is only part of the reason why the gateway system works. It is also designed to achieve the physical quietude characteristic of deep transcendental meditative states, which brings about a complete alteration of the fundamental resonance pattern associated with the sound frequencies produced by the human body. Yoga, Zen, or transcendental meditation, if practiced long enough, will produce a change in the sound frequency with which the human heart resonates throughout the entire body. According to Bentov, this change in resonance results from elimination of what the medical profession calls the bifurcation echo. It's a new one. Must be a cardiology term. So that the sound of the heartbeat can move synchronously up and down the circulatory system in harmonious resonance approximately 7 times a second. 7 times a second, that's a lot. Bentov describes the role played by the bifurcation echo as follows. When the left ventricle of the heart ejects blood, the aorta, being elastic, balloons out just beyond the valve and causes a pressure pulse to travel down along the aorta. When the pressure pulse reaches the bifurcation in the lower abdomen, which is where the aorta forks into two to go into the legs, part of the pressure pulse rebounds and starts traveling up the aorta. If in the meantime the heart ejects more blood and a new pressure pulse is traveling down, these two pressure points will eventually collide somewhere along the aorta and produce an interference pattern. By placing the body in a sleep-like state, the gateway tapes achieve the same goal as meditation, in that it places the body in such a profoundly relaxed state that the bifurcation echo slowly fades away as the heart lessens the force and frequency with which it pushes blood into the aorta. The result is a regular, rhythmic sine wave pattern of sound which echoes throughout the body and rises up into the head in sustained resonance. The amplitude of this sine wave pattern, which measured with A sensitive seismograph type instrument is about 3 times the average of the sound volume produced by the heart when it is operating normally. 3 times the average of the sound volume produced by the heart when it is operating normally. So it's a quite significant sound wave pattern. Brain stimulation. Bentall's biomedical model shows that this resonance is of considerable importance since it is directly transmitted to and impacts upon the brain. The resulting vibration is received and transmitted into the brain itself via the fluid-filled third and left ventricles located above the brainstem. What? Hold on. Okay. An electromagnetic pulse is then generated, which stimulates the brain to raise the amplitude and frequency of brainwave output, just as Dr. Timlow observed in his research on the effects of the hemisync tapes. Also, the brain is contained in a tight membrane called the dura, which is, in turn, cushioned by a thin layer of fluid located between it and the skull. As the coherent resonance produced by the human heart in a state of profound relaxation reaches the fluid layer surrounding the brain, it sets up a rhythmic pattern in which the brain moves up and down approximately 0.005 to 0.010 millimeters in a continuous pattern. The self-reinforcing character of resonant behavior accounts for the body's ability to sustain this movement despite the minimal level of energy involved. In this way, the entire body, based on its own micromotion, functions as a tuned vibrational system which transfers energy in a range between 6.8 and 7.5 hertz into the Earth's ionic spheric cavity, which itself resonates at about 7 to 7.5 hertz. Of this process, Bentov states, This is occurring at a very long wavelength of about 40,000 kilometers or just above the perimeter of the planet. In other words, the signal from the movement of our bodies will travel around the world in about 1/7 of a second through the electrostatic field in which we are embedded. Such a long wavelength knows no obstacles, and its strength does not attenuate much over large distances. Naturally, it will go through just about anything: metal, concrete, water, and the fields making up our bodies. It is the ideal medium for conveying a telepathic signal. Okay. They've touched on so many things that are such taboo and everyday conversation in the norm. If you talk about telepathy, and it's thank goodness it's becoming more common today. If you talk about tarot or telepathy, or it's becoming more, I'm not going to say mainstream, it's a far from mainstream right now, but it is more socially accepted than it used to be 20 years ago, 30 years ago. If you told somebody you did tarot, or you even play with tarot cards or had a Ouija board, you were a witch, you were crazy, you were, one flew over the cuckoo's nest type shit. And it'd have been nice to have these documents in 92 in high school. You know what I mean? When you're different than everybody and you can't explain why. You know that you are. You can't put your finger on it, but yeah, I'm one of those people. I'm not normal. Did I fit in just about anywhere? Yeah. Did I get along with everybody? Yeah. I didn't do a lot of things my friends did. That didn't stop me from being their friend. I just had a different mindset when it came to certain things. I was bad when I was a kid, though. I was bad. I wouldn't do anything bad, but I was bad. I was a bad kid. Our energy, our bodies will travel. No, in other words, the signal from the movement of our bodies will travel around the world in about 1/7 of a second through the electrostatic field in which we are embedded. That spider web of energy I was talking about. Energy from our bodies travels completely around the world in 1/7 of a second. We're everywhere all the time, basically. Kind of like light. It happens and it's so, you don't realize it's happening. I don't know. Crazy. Consequently, the gateway process is designed to rather rapidly induce a state of profound calm within the nervous system and to significantly lower blood pressure to cause the circulatory system, skeleton, and all other physical organ systems to begin vibrating coherently at approximately 7.7 to 7.5 cycles per second. The resulting resonance sets up a regular, repetitive sound wave which propagates in consonance with the electrostatic field of the earth. There's a meditation that I listened to, and it's actually called the Schumann resonance. It's 7.83 hertz, the Schumann resonance frequency. It's actually the Earth's it's the Earth's tone. It's whatever the Earth is vibrating at, and if you can match that vibration, you can heal yourself. I was talking earlier about, I can't remember where it was, where I was talking about it'd save us a lot of money. Yeah. If we vibrate, if we can ground. Grounding is huge. Getting outside, being in the actual electrostatic field directly. Grounding. When I say grounding, I mean feet on the ground, bare feet on the concrete, the dirt. The more time you spend outside, directly connected to the earth, the healthier you're going to be, the better you're going to feel. For my people that aren't into the heat and summer and all that, I hope you enjoy winter. Winter kills me. I have to be outside. I have to be grounding 20, 30, as much time as I can get outside, preferably barefoot. Always have been. It's huge. It's huge. People need to reconnect with the planet, and that's how you do it. It helps with the awakening process when you realize you're a part of something much, much, much bigger than yourself, and much, much, much bigger than you ever realized. Energy entrainment. As the body is turned into a coherent oscillator vibrating in harmony with the surrounding electrostatic medium, the specific exercises included in the gateway tapes enjoin the participant to build up the energy field surrounding his body, presumably by using energy from the Earth's field, which the body is now in training because of its ability to resonate with it. Again, you cannot resonate with it unless you are listening to binaural beats to get with the Earth's ohm, or you are outside barefoot, living in the now, not thinking about yesterday, not thinking about tomorrow, not thinking about 20 minutes from now, literally opening your eyes and looking around and observing and being aware of the vastness of life that is ever changing and going on around you. Be in the moment. That also helps with anxiety. It helps with fear. It helps with depression. It helps because how are you right now? Are you okay right now? Right now. Is everything okay right now? You have to take that feeling of it's okay right now and hold on to that, because you're always in the now. It's okay to plan for the future, but don't try to live in the future. You have to live in the now. It's huge. This puts the body's energy field into, I'm going to screw this one up, nope. Because I'm going to say, I don't know. With its surrounding environment, and promotes movement of the seat of consciousness into the surrounding environment, partly in response to the fact that the two electromagnetic medians are now a single energy continuum. Thus, the same process which moves the brain into focused coherence at steadily higher levels of frequency and amplitude, so as to entrain, analogous frequencies in the universe for data collection, also promotes enhancement of bodily energy levels to a point adequate to permit the subject to experience an out-of-body movement when he is ready to do so. More will be said about this topic later. An out-of-body movement. We're on number 10, and they're already talking about out-of-body experiences, like telling us how to move around outside our bodies. And this thing has, I don't know, numbers forever. 29. Oh, we done got to A, B, and C, and F, and we're now we're going through the alphabet. 31 with an index for the alphabet. 38. 38. The conclusion is number 38. We're on number 10, and they're already talking about out-of-body experiences. Out-of-body movement. Still say I gotta get my hands on these tapes. In addition, by resonating with the Earth's electromagnetic sphere, the human body creates a surprisingly powerful carrier wave to assist the mind in communication activity with other human minds similarly tuned. Okay. In addition, by resonating with the Earth's electromagnetic sphere, the human body creates a surprisingly powerful carrier wave to assist the mind in communication activity with other human minds similarly tuned. Had to take a recess. I was getting kind of... So, to put this in layman's terms, so if you have somebody that you have chemistry with, this is I'm trying to apply this paper to everyday situations so that it makes sense to people. I don't want to just read this and people go, oh, this, that, or whatever. Hold on, I got to let this cat out. Go. Go. And yes, all witches have cats. Just throwing it out there. That if you feel a spark or chemistry with somebody or a connection with somebody, it's because you are resonating at the same frequency as that person. So you have your tribe, people that just get you. It's because you're literally on the same frequency. Or, if you're around people that are a lower vibration than you, if you are in tune with yourself at all. And it's not that you are better than that person or that person is beneath you. It's just that your mind works differently. You've been through more. You've had more experiences, or you're an awakened individual. And the thing about it is when you're an awakened individual, you don't get offended by things the way that you used to. You're just like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. And you don't, because that person has to learn their own lessons. They have to do things their way. And it's okay to guide people, but you can't control people. Half people have hard enough time controlling themselves, much less anyone else. And you know who you are. So when people speak about their tribe or their, those are my people, or you really get each other or a group of people, it's because you're all at the same frequency. Your brains are all kind of working the same way. And your frequency will get higher and higher the more you understand about yourself, and the more you understand about this process, the easier it becomes. And the more awakened you are, the more you want that for others. which is where I'm at. It's where I've always been. You know, I was taught it's not what you say, it's how you say it. You know, you have to understand that what you do not only affects you, but it affects everybody around you, everything around you. I was taught that from a very young age, which clearly my mom just was a conscious person and didn't understand that that's what she was. She raised myself and my brothers and sister, my brother and sisters the same way, you know, and anybody that she came into contact with. Her goal was to get you to think about what you were doing. Think about what you say before you say it. You know, should that come out of my mouth? How should that come out of my mouth? When I say this, what kind of an inflection and what kind of a reaction am I going to get from this person? Am I going to, you know, I think about and I speak very purposefully. It's not the word I want. I don't like that this feels like I'm being put on the spot, but consciously, I speak consciously, especially if I have something important to say, you know, because what you say matters. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's bullshit. Words hurt worse than anything because words leave emotional scars. Just because you can't see them, how you affect other people matters. It matters. Consciousness and energy. Number 11. Before our explanation can proceed any further, it is essential to define the mechanism by which the human mind exercises the function known as consciousness. So now it's a function of the mind. I mean, I don't get it. Function known as consciousness. And to describe the way in which that consciousness operates to deduce meaning from the stimuli which it receives. To do this, we will first consider the fundamental character of the material world in which we have our physical existence in order to accurately perceive the raw stuff with which our consciousness must work. The first point which needs to be made is that the two terms, matter and energy, tend to be misleading if taken to indicate two distinctly different states of existence in the physical world that we know it. Indeed, the term matter is taken to mean solid substance as opposed to energy, which is understood to mean a force of some sort. Then the use of the former is entirely misleading. Science now knows that both the electrons which spin in the energy field located around the nucleus of the atom and the nucleus itself are made up of nothing more than oscillating energy grids. Solid matter, in the strict construction of the term, simply does not exist. So, I mean, we learn this in school. We learn this, if you paid attention, we learn this in middle school science. Like, everything is in motion. Even something that's hard is in motion. And to take you back to a middle school science class, from what I recall, the harder it is, the slower the energy. The faster the nucleus and the electrons and the protons and the this and the that are moving, then the less dense. And the slower, the more dense. Which goes back to higher vibrational beings, lower vibrational beings. You get a lot of, if you're an empathic person, which I am, super empathic, is a blessing and a curse. I take on some people's energy that is not my own. I wake up out of bed sometimes and feel like I want to cry and feel hopeless, and I don't know why, because I don't feel that way. I mean, I have days that I'm just like, ugh, but I've never felt hopeless. I have a purpose. I've always had a purpose, whether it's to be a mother or a grandmother or a teacher or to do this or to be enlightened and let people know that enlightenment's not, it's not always what you think it is. It's not, and being an empath or being intuitive, and it's not always what you think it is. You know, it's not going to be some the psychic I used to go to, yes, he was an old man, sat in a little bitty eccentric room. He was the coolest thing. Man, never, everything you told me, spot on. I had a child 3.5 years after having my tubes tied. He told me I was going to have this kid. I told him he's crazy. I had my tubes tied. There's no way. He said, well, I don't care. And now I have her. I mean, he knew. How he knew, we'll get into that later. But he knew. It's frustrating to me that this is, this is not. Why are we not teaching our kids this? Why was I not taught this? This report is from 1983. I was in the 3rd grade. This could have been in every science book in the United States by the time I was in 7th grade. I could have been learning this in 7th grade, 8th grade biology or whatever the hell it was we took. Why are we not teaching this to our kids? This is science. But they only teach us the science they want us to know. Not all of it. They don't teach us what they know. They teach us what they want us to know to keep us asleep. To keep us being sheeple. Because if we're resonating correctly, we can heal ourselves. Remember? So nothing is solid. Nothing is truly solid. Nothing. Smoke. Definitely not a solid. Heated up, moves faster, gaseous, transparent. So ghosts are just like super duper high vibrating energy forms without a nasty eyebrows, without a physical body, or as Supernatural likes to call it, a meat suit. It's a ball of energy without a meat suit. This is a meat suit. Because this isn't who we are. What we are is it's something we can't see. It's something that you know. It's something that you feel. It's something that the right side of your brain is in touch with. And the left side of your brain is in touch with nothing but the physical forms. And the quote unquote solids around us. So much more than that. You breathe air, you sure don't see it unless you live in a smog-ridden city. But we know it's there. Because when we don't have it, we suffer physically.